Yo
me
bhaktya
priyachati
tat aham bhaktya upiritam dashnami prayanamah.
Patram pushpam phalam toyam
Patram pushpam palayantoyam
yo me bhaktya
prayashyati
tadaham bhaktya upahritam
bhakta ganitam
ashnami prayatmanah. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayashyati tadaham bhaktya upahritam ashnami prayatmanah. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayashyati tadaham bhaktya upahritam ashnami prayatmanah. Please repeat. Patram pushpam phalam toyam.
Patram pushpam phalantoyam
Patram pushpam phalam toyam
yo me bhaktya prayashyati
yo me bhaktya prayashyati tadaham bhaktya upahritam
ashnami prayatatmanah.
ashnami prayatmanah. Matajis. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayashyati tadaham bhaktya upahritam ashnami prayatmanah. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayashyati. Okay. Patram, a leaf. Pushpam, a flower. Phalam, a fruit. Toyam, water. Yaha, whoever. Me, unto me. Bhaktya, with devotion. Prayaschati, offers. Tat, that. Aham, I. Bhakti upahritam, offered in devotion. Ashnami, accept. Prayata atmanah, from one in pure consciousness. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit or water, I will accept it. Purport. For the intelligent person, it is essential to be in Krishna consciousness, engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, in order to achieve a permanent blissful abode for eternal happiness. The process of achieving such a marvelous result is very easy and can be attempted even by the poorest of the poor without any kind of qualification. The only qualification required in this connection is to be a pure devotee of the Lord. It does not matter what one is or where one is situated. The process is so easy that even a leaf or a little water or fruit can be offered to the Supreme Lord in genuine love, and the Lord will be pleased to accept it. No one, therefore, can be barred from Krishna consciousness. Is that barred or bared? Barred from Krishna consciousness. Because it is so easy and universal. Who is such a fool that he does not want to be Krishna conscious by this simple method and thus attain the highest perfection of eternity, bliss, and knowledge? Krishna wants only loving service and nothing more. Krishna accepts even a little flower from his pure devotee. He does not want any kind of offering from a non-devotee. He is not in need of anything from anyone because he is self-sufficient, and yet he accepts the offering of his devotee in exchange of love and affection. To develop Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection of life. Bhakti is meant twice Bhakti is mentioned twice in this verse in order to declare more emphatically that bhakti or devotional service is the only means to approach Krishna. No other conditions, such as becoming a brahmana, a learned scholar, a very rich man, or a great philosopher, can induce Krishna to accept some offering. Without the basic principle of bhakti, nothing can induce the Lord to agree to accept anything from anyone. Bhakti is never casual. The process is eternal. It is direct action in service to the Absolute Whole. Here, Lord Krishna, having established that He is the only enjoyer, the primeval Lord and the real object of all sacrificial offerings, reveals what types of sacrifices He desires to be offered. If one wishes to engage in devotional service to the Supreme in order to be purified and to reach the goal of life, the transcendental loving service of God, one should find out what the Lord desires of him. One who loves Krishna will give him whatever he wants, and he avoids offering anything which is undesirable or unasked. Thus, meat, fish, and eggs should not be offered to Krishna. If he desired such things as offerings, he would have said so. Instead, he clearly requests that a leaf, fruit, flowers, and water be given to him, and he says, "Of this offering I will accept it." Therefore, we should understand that he will not accept meat, fish, and eggs. Vegetables, grains, fruits, milk, and water are the proper foods for human beings and are prescribed by Lord Krishna himself. Whatever else we eat cannot be offered to him, since he will not accept it. Thus, we cannot be acting on the level of loving devotion if we offer such foods. In the 3rd chapter, verse 13, Sri Krishna explains that only the remains of sacrifice are purified and fit for consumption by those who are seeking advancement in life and release from the clutches of material entanglement. Those who do not make such an offering of their food, he says in the same verse, are eating only sin. In other words, their very mouthful is simply deepening their involvement in the complexities of material nature. But preparing nice, simple vegetable dishes, offering them before the picture of a deity of Lord Krishna, and bowing down and praying for him to accept such a humble offering, enables one to advance steadily in life, to purify the body, and to create fine brain tissues which will lead to clear thinking. Above all, the offering should be made with an attitude of love. Krishna has no need of food, since he already possesses everything that be. Yet he will accept the offering of who desires to please him in that way. The important element in preparation, in serving, and in offering is to act with love for Krishna. The impersonalist philosophers who wish to maintain that the absolute truth is without senses cannot comprehend this verse of Bhagavad Gita. To them, it is neither a metaphor or proof of the mundane character of Krishna. The speaker of the Bhagavad Gita it is either a metaphor or a proof of mundane character of Krishna, the speaker of Bhagavad Gita. But in actuality, Krishna, the Supreme Godhead, has senses, and it is stated that his senses are interchangeable. In other words, one sense can perform the function of another. This is what is means to say that Krishna is absolute. Lacking senses, he could hardly be considered full in all opulences. In the 7th chapter, Krishna has explained that he impregnates the living entity into material nature. This is done by his looking upon the material nature. And so, in this instance, Krishna's hearing the devotee's words of love in offering foodstuffs is wholly identical with his eating and actually tasting. This point should be emphasized because of his absolute position. His hearing is wholly identical with his eating and tasting. Only the devotee who accepts Krishna as he describes himself without interpretation can understand the supreme absolute truth, can eat food and enjoy it. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadari Swapatandikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swaminitamene Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmashpadikakridam Antaram Sarva Vidyanam Haigrivam Upismahe Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana Hoy Vigna Vinashana Nayasya Hai Nijavanchita Puranam. So this verse here in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna reveals this is the secret of all secrets, the king of all knowledge. Rajavidya Rajaguham. Pavitram idam uttamam, that this is the topmost knowledge. And it is joyfully performed. This process of devotional service is not dry. Process of devotional service is not dry. It is very joyfully performed. It is very enlivening to the senses. It is very enlivening to the mind. It is very enlivening to the living entity. Because why? Because it directly is in direct connection with the soul, not with this body. As Mahotsa Prabhu was saying yesterday, the connection between this body and the soul is illusion. But when one comes in Krishna consciousness, that same body, which is a connection to illusion, becomes a connection to reality. Because the senses become purified, the mind becomes purified, the intelligence becomes purified, the false ego becomes real ego, which is identification as a servant of God, Krishna. So the process of devotional service that Krishna describes in this Bhagavad Gita is very enlivening to the practitioner. Why? Because it is done with love. It is not done out of fear. Krishna does not encourage that in the Bhagavad Gita. That verse comes, how does that start? Kaugi Prabhu? Man, I'm completely spacing out here. Those who, anyways, I'm forgetting. Those who acting out of love for me, he mentions in this particular verse. I'm going to get it confused, I forget. So anyways, the main point being here that the whole standard of devotional service is that there is devotion in it, that there is love. There's love within the practice of that service. We are not doing it for some gain, some material gain, some sort of pay. It's not some sort of paycheck. It's not a business transaction. Because often in any sort of religion that you will come across, often this is the standard of spiritual or religion, is that you approach God and God in return gives you something. That if you are very prosperous, if you have very good looks, if you have a very nice family and you come from a very nice background, then you are favored by God, that you've done very good. Then God loves you because, He has given you all these nice things. But if you're poor and you're ugly and you don't have much in your life and you've gone through a lot of terrible situations, then God hates you. Because who else put you through it but God? Without proper understanding of all the things that Krishna presents in the Bhagavad Gita, God is the cause of everything that is happening to us and not ourselves at all. Because He put us in this earth, He gave us the family, He gave us this body. And without a proper understanding of reincarnation and karma, the conclusion is that God, He's only merciful to those who are rich, who have beautiful bodies, who have beautiful families. But to those who are poor and ugly and such, then He was very cunning, He was very nasty to them. Let these people live very nastily, let them go to hell. But here, Krishna is describing the love of a devotee towards Him, that is the only thing He cares about. He doesn't care about your money. He doesn't care about your good looks. He doesn't care about your good car. He doesn't care about your beautiful husband or beautiful wife. He doesn't care about all of these things. These are all external things. He has no care for such things at all. He doesn't need anything from us at all. But what He wants is love. Because that's the thing actually, even Krishna, He is hankering for. The love, that loving relationship with the devotee. That is the only thing that He cannot force. He could, He's God, but He does not. That's the only thing that He desires in Krishna's Leela, in His pastimes. The only thing that He wants to do is have a loving relationship with the devotees. There's nothing more than that. There's nothing more than rasa. There's nothing more than actually love. That loving reciprocation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the highest platform of existence. And that is what Krishna desires the most, as He's expressing here. The love with His devotees. Because that, the person, this individual soul can accept or reject. Everything else for the conditioned soul, more or less is done by force. He's forced by material nature to act. But the love that is between the devotee and Krishna, that is done with full independence. One is not forced to love Krishna at all. So Krishna desires that living entity, desires to have that eternal relationship or reestablish that eternal relationship that is there with Krishna. Reignite that. So Krishna here is revealing how to do that. You offer whatever you have to me. Whatever little thing you have, with a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. But you must do it with love. You can offer me $1 billion, but if it is with the idea that I'm doing this for name, fame, adoration, I'm doing this because I will become glorified, then Krishna will not accept such things. You can offer him your whole life, but if it is done with the idea that eventually actually it's for me to become glorified, then Krishna will not accept such things. But if one simply offers, as Prabhupada is saying here, any poor man can get a flower. Any poor man has water. Any poor man has a fruit. It does not take so much. Krishna is not looking for opulence because he's the most opulent. Actually, if you look at Krishna, you don't see gold and diamonds and a crown and all of these things. Actually, you see flowers. And if you read the Krishna book, it's described how Krishna decorates himself with forest flowers. He decorates himself with forest flowers when he goes out. Krishna likes simple. Krishna likes this opulence of the simplicity. He is not, he is not desiring this intense worship of gold and all the things. That is there in the Vishnu aspect of Krishna's internal expansion of his internal energy. That is there in, you go to Sri Rangam and very amazing opulence, so much gold and diamonds are being offered. That is there. But in Krishna, in his original form, he desires the love of his devotees. That's why when you read the Krishna book, it's all about that loving relationship that Krishna has with his devotees. So this Krishna consciousness movement is very simple, as Prabhupada says. It's not very complicated. You do not have to be some scholar. You do not have to be some, great brahmana. You do not have to be a rich man, a great philosopher, such and such. None of these things are required in order to perform devotional service. They are not prerequisites. What is the qualification? It is simply that one develops love for Krishna. And how does one do that? One centers his life around Krishna, as Prabhupada is explaining here. One centers his life. Everything that he owns, he does not see it as his ownership. He sees it as Krishna's. Krishna owns this home. This is Krishna's home. This is why? Because that home is used to worship Krishna. The activities of the home are centered around Krishna, just like the activities of the temple are centered around worshiping Krishna. We're not centering it around our life. Okay, this is what I want to do, so maybe I'll do it here and here. That may be there sometimes, because, whatever life situations. But we'll see that devotees, they center their whole life around Krishna, just like we've been trained up in our life. Whatever we get that is new, we offer to Krishna first thing. Apart from shoes and things like that. So whatever we get, we offer it to Krishna. Whether it's a jacket, whether it's a mic, whether it's a camera, whether it's a phone, whether it's to make a point to us because we're contaminated in our consciousness, this is first being enjoyed by Krishna, and I'm going to use it in his service. That, trying to establish that in our minds. And whatever, obviously, those who have been practicing devotional service for some time or for long periods of time, what's being described here, the fruit, the flower, we do not smell any flower that is not offered to Krishna. We do not eat any food that is not offered to Krishna. We do not take any fruit that is not offered to Krishna. So the devotee, his whole life becomes centered around this. And Krishna, becomes very pleased by the devotee's endeavor to please him. Sometimes we're lacking in that loving, we lack in loving Krishna most of the time. It's hard because of our conditioned nature. We lack in it. But the endeavor to love Krishna, Krishna appreciates that. His bhavagrahi janardana, he accepts the mood by the which the devotee offers it. So we may not have love for Krishna, obviously we're so pulled by the material energy, but that endeavor to try to love Krishna by situating our life around him in such a way that we never forget Krishna, we always remember Krishna, or we do those things that are favorable for Krishna consciousness and reject those things that are unfavorable for Krishna consciousness, Krishna appreciates those things. As you surrender unto me, I shall reward you accordingly. So sometimes we're in situations where, or like in positions in life where it's really tough to perform devotional service or to feel that you have love for Krishna. But that love can also be shown by the endeavor, but just by offering. Whatever food we eat, whatever food we're going to take, we first give that to Krishna. Whatever new thing that we may acquire, we first offer that to Krishna before taking it or before using it. So these small things, seemingly small, are actually very big because we're starting to act out our life in the way that Krishna desires, as Prabhupada is stating here. That our life should be not just a mental concoction, this is what, I know what Krishna likes, without actually understanding what Krishna likes. Many people are like this. I was talking to this one guy recently, and he was saying, well, I offer my marijuana dealing and me selling marijuana is service. He says, how? He says, because I feel it. I feel it, I feel that is my devotion service. I said, how? He said, just because I feel it. He said, but you're ruining so many people's lives, so many people are addicted to this. He said, but because I grow it with love, I sell it with love. He said, but the people that you take it from, you think they take it with love? If they're so spiritual, if you didn't sell it tomorrow, they'll go to someone else who will sell it. They're so dedicated. But I'm doing it with love. But you don't know what that love is. You want to love someone, like I know Mahotsa Prabhu hates eggplant. Not anymore. He's just being humble. He's just now his... But if I said, Mahotsa Prabhu, today is like this, he just broke another world record, and he comes back home after a 12-hour day of distributing books, and I say, Prabhu, I made you something you really like. And I hear some eggplant sabji. Eggplant with no salt. He'll sit there, he'll definitely like, what the hell is this? What is this? He may not do it, he's humble. But it's like, all right, I'll accept it, but it's like, he's been out all day, he's just done something really amazing for the Lord, and you offer him eggplant, the thing that he hates the most. It's not really love, it's like you're just doing it. Maybe you just had eggplant in your fridge and you're like, here's some eggplant, here, just eat something. So one has to know what Krishna likes. One has to know what Krishna wants. And how is that done? How do we know? How do we know? Krishna tells us what he wants as leaf, flower, fruit, water, and also through one's teachers, the sadhus, gurus, sadhu and shastra. The scriptures are there in describing what Krishna likes. The spiritual master is there, teaching the disciple, just like we're singing every morning, how to engage in devotional service, how the spiritual master engages the disciple in devotional service, different types of devotional service, of being engaged in the Sankirtan movement, engaging in taking prasadam, worshipping the deity, serving the lotus feet of the Lord. So one learns the art of love by understanding what Krishna likes. One learns how to love Krishna by understanding what he likes, and that aspect of that love is one gives up those things which he likes. That's just like a mother. The closest thing Prabhupada says to love that you can see in this material world is the love between a mother and her child. Because the mother is constantly being harassed by the child. It's constantly. It cries all night. I was watching a video and he was saying how when you have a child, you only start to sleep like 4 hours a night. Is that true, Mahabhoga Mataji? You're the only one in the room, right, who has experience. He said, thank God. So, 4 hours a night you sleep, and the rest of the day you have to take care of this baby. It's crying and whining and poops all over the place, and you got to clean it up, and it's really nasty. It's like, why would someone go through that? But the love that the mother has for his child, it's almost inconceivable. Why would someone go through so much suffering for someone? But because of love. Some people couldn't understand this. That if someone causes you pain, then you immediately leave them. Immediately just... But if there is understanding of how to love this person and why I should love this person, then the devotee, as we see so many examples of that in the Bhagavatam, is ready to undergo some austerity and penance in order to love the Lord. He gives up his own personal desire to fulfill the desires of Krishna. So just like we're maybe attached to different intoxications, meat eating, and different things, but because some level of that arose in our heart, love for Krishna, some level, some understanding arose, we were able to give such things up because we liked doing them. We were attached to doing them. Why did we give those up? In order to love Krishna. Because Krishna says, oh, you should give these things up. If you want to love me, if you want to come to the platform of understanding who I am and having a loving relationship, then you have to give these things up. Just like sometimes a girl tells her boyfriend to give up smoking. You've seen this in many times where he's addicted to smoking cigarettes, and she said, if we want to build a life together, you have to give up cigarettes. And the boyfriend does it. Because there's higher platform of that attachment than that small attachment is love to Krishna. Love towards that loving relationship. So the devotee, he gives up his own personal motivations and desires to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead through Guru and Sadhu. So the devotee, he becomes established in this, and what does Prabhupada says? When one is established in that, he starts to experience great levels of ecstasy. When his consciousness becomes absorbed in that, in just serving the Lord, he becomes completely ecstatic in his existence. Because he starts to directly access the platform of the soul. The level of enjoyment experience on the senses, the mind and the intelligence and false ego is so small. Rupa Goswami describes how even this platform of liberation, of coming to Brahman realization, is like that of a cow's hoof print. Calf's hoof print. Very small. So what to speak of the enjoyment of this material world is like a small, tiny drop. So when the devotee starts to let go of his attachments and replaces them with a higher attachment, not become just detached, but becomes attached to Krishna, then he starts to experience great bliss in his life. Starts to see how life should be lived. And this, as Prabhupada is giving so many qualifications, this doesn't mean you have to be some rich man or philosopher or such and such. One just has to remain simple at heart and simply offer himself to Krishna, offer his food, offer his possessions, all of these things to Krishna. And one will see how one will become happy in his life. One will become satisfied. One will become, it's just like when you're very thirsty, you drink water, you become completely quenched. Your thirst becomes completely quenched. Similarly, the process of devotional service, when we engage it in the manner that is being described, that is being wanted by Krishna, then we will also become completely satisfied, in which there will be no more hankering, no more lamenting. You will actually come to the platform of full realization. This takes some time though. It's not that you start chanting 16 rounds and follow the 4 regulative principles and then you're flying high. It definitely is that, but difficulties come, challenges are presented. That's a part of love. When challenges are presented within our life, we can overcome those challenges, continue to practice the principles and show Krishna that I'm serious about this loving relationship that I'm establishing with you. So many challenges come, especially when you're not within association. So many doubts come. So one has to be ready to destroy those doubts by association of devotees. If doubts come, that we reveal that mind to the devotees so that they can destroy that doubt, as Arjuna did in the Bhagavad Gita to Krishna. He didn't just walk away from the battlefield. He could have. He could have just got up and left. But Arjuna would have become a great loser, as Krishna describes in the end of the Bhagavad Gita. He says, if you did this, anyways you'll come back to doing, if you just got up and left and tried to become some sadhu, some saint, or some yogi, because of your nature, you would have come back to this and you would have suffered more. But because you've asked very intelligently, if you haven't understood what I've explained to you, I'll explain it again. But Arjuna, engage in this devotion service. Do this. This is the best thing for you. But you have the choice to do what you like. So Arjuna was intelligent enough to inquire in order to challenge his own doubts by accepting Krishna as the spiritual master. So in our lives, when we go through struggles in Krishna consciousness, the way to conquer them is not by running away or not by just leaving it, okay, forget it, but by actually consulting that, by actually discussing those subject matters which may be controversial to us or to others. By doing that, one develops deep faith in Krishna consciousnness. So you've been here for the last 3 days, and it's really, like we've said again and again, we really appreciate you being here, and we become attached to those who come and take up devotional service. It's so enlivening to see people take it up sincerely, people who are sincere, people who are sweet at heart, take up devotional service. So like Mohan Prabhu was saying, it's like so nice, but at the same time, when there's separation, it's like, I wish they didn't have to leave. As Mohan Prabhu keeps telling the world, why do you have to go, bro? Why do you have to go? So there's like separation. Even for the devotees who are living here, we've only known you for 3 days. We've only seen you for 2 days and, last 2 days, 3 days. But there's a deep, loving relationship that is being established with the devotees. And the devotees feel that even more because they see that Krishna is pleased by that. Krishna is pleased by seeing conditioned souls come and engage in the process of devotional service. And the devotee becomes pleased. And so when there's separation of devotees, or those who are starting the process of devotional service, there's a level of like, oh man, I hope everything is okay. I hope this person is able to practice the process of devotional service and come to realizing their eternal nature and their relationship with Krishna. And that they don't fall into the hands of jaws of material nature, or the crocodile-like philosophies that are there. So you've come here for the last 3 days and been able to engage in devotional service, hear, chant, dance, associate with devotees. You've performed the activities which even the demigods hanker to do. They're simply waiting to be able to perform these activities. Those in the heavenly planets who are demigods, they're waiting for this opportunity of devotional service. They're waiting. So you've been able to get that opportunity and get that amazing association. I mean, like myself, I moved all the way from Australia for this association because this is so amazing. There's nothing, I don't know anywhere else in the world where I could have such amazing brotherhood as you are telling me. Like, you guys are very close. And some of the other guys are saying, if people saw us externally, they'll think we're gay monks. They'll think we're gay monks. But because it's unimaginable for people to see how close we are actually without any sexual relations. It's impossible for people to see. But because of the intensity of devotional service and that love for Krishna, the love between the devotees is also very intense. So this loving relationship, this loving devotional relationship has to be continued. And so when you go home, there'll be so many challenges and your mind will present you with so many difficulties. But if you simply somehow or other stay in association through different means, either whether you have devotees close by you, luckily for us, Srila Prabhupada has established many centers around North America in which you will be able to find good association. In every center there is some good association. It's better than no association. So you can visit these places and take that opportunity, or if you don't have that opportunity, sometimes there's also centers which have people who are not following the line of that the Lord has set for us, the line of Acharyas. They do not follow the principles of devotional service which lead to proper fruit. That those people are also there, so one should be careful who they associate with. So if that is not available, personal association is not available, there's online, there's the calls, there's readings that you can do with the devotees. Prasadam by mail. So like this, you can get good association. There's no scarcity of it if one desires it within his heart. So, you've come here. So there's many things you can do. Obviously, getting up in the morning, chanting your rounds. If you work a job and 4 o'clock is like you're trying it and it's not practical, then you can get up at 5. That is good. And you can chant Hare Krishna. Try to do a set number of rounds, whatever that is. Set it and do it every day, day in, day out. And then increase. Work your way to 16 rounds, or you can start right at 16 rounds, no problems. And then start with 4. That's what I started with. 4, then I jumped to 8, then to 10, and then to 14, and then to 16. So if you do this, make this the most prominent thing in your life, chanting Hare Krishna, and whatever you cook, eat food, vegetarian, of course. No garlic, no onions. When you cook this prasadam, this bhoga, this food that is going to be enjoyed by Krishna, do not lust over it. This is going to be enjoyed by Krishna first. Offer that to Krishna, and then you can take very nicely. You can take like this, and then everything else around your life, if you can, get nice paintings of Krishna, nice pictures. It's so nice to have this, and just like some of the men in the morning when you're chanting japa, you can walk around and see it. It's so nice. So you can get nice paintings of Krishna. You're getting books. That's very good. Reading, hearing lectures. So replacing all the nonsense we've done in our past, watching movies, all of these things, with Krishna conscious activity. If you want to watch something, there's so many Srila Prabhupada memories that you can watch. So many hours. Following Srila Prabhupada, remembering Srila Prabhupada. So many hours of that. The devotees can send that to you. You can watch so many lectures online, learn so much. So in this way, you can advance in your Krishna consciousness even while you're away from an atmosphere of intense full-time devotional service. So you can set up a nice little altar at home. I wanted to give everyone Krishna Balaram from Vrindavan. So you can set up a little altar at home in which the least you can do every day is offer a fruit, water, and flower. And chant in front of them. And chant in front of Krishna Balaram. So I want to give each of the monk retreat candidates one of these pictures of Krishna Balaram. Srila Prabhupada installed these himself in Vrindavan. So it's very nice. I'm going to give you another one. This right now, you can take this, but this one, the back broke off it. So here's Krishna Balaram. Sure. And then Mataji. This one's very nice one. Pink and purple, they're dressed. It's really sweet. So you can keep this in a clean place in your house where you'll, not some corner where you won't see them, in a place where you'll see them every day. And you can worship them, offer, you can do all of these things. You can, here is described a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water. You can offer, you can buy flowers for Krishna. That's a very nice thing to do. Just like sometimes you buy flowers for your spouse or your girlfriend and you think about them like, oh, this is what they'll like, this is what they like. You can go to the flower store and you can purchase, okay, for Krishna every day I want to get one flower. Maybe, I don't know how expensive flowers are. We get ours for free. But if you can just buy a small flower every day, if you're going somewhere, or even if you walk down the street, you can steal a flower from someone else's garden. Be careful. My parents used to do that in the temple. They got caught by police one day because the temple didn't have money to buy flowers, so they would leave at 4 o'clock in the morning and go to like the rose bushes in like the gardens of the state. You know, the government like builds all these gardens, and they would steal flowers. Hey, they had to do that in the 70s too, Prabhupada's disciples. So you can, somehow offer a flower to Krishna. You always have water you can offer to Krishna. Don't offer it in the same container that you drink out of. Have if you can, go get Krishna's own set of plates that's for him to eat out of. That's for him to take from. His own little bowl, his own little sponge, his own little sponge to wash his plates. So all these details we can also, all these details we can give more and more later, or we can do it over the phone, or we can make a video. We're gonna, Ali, you heard that? Ali heard that, he's ready. He's ready. We're gonna produce 5 videos all at once. So we'll produce some videos where you'll be able to see exactly how you can do things. And so like this, I'm sure devotees, you're in Florida, you're in Austin, Texas, you're in Chicago. Florida and Austin, Texas, we're always like, that's like Florida is like our, even in the winter time. Yeah, because, it's always warm over there. We'll come to Chicago just for you. Summers are nice. So in this way, engage in devotional service and include your whatever, if family is there, sometimes that presents difficulties too. But see how you can work with it and perform the process of devotional service. Come here. The Bhakti Vikas Maharaj is coming in April. Yeah. Our spiritual master is coming in April.
Beginning of May.
Huh? First week of May he's coming?
We're going to have a festival.
Oh, we're going to we're going to Sankirtan festival? Yeah. Oh, and we're going to have a huge festival in May. So you have to definitely plan for that. Yeah, definitely plan for that.
Okay.
So there's going to be, that's the most ecstatic festival, and it's like all of these Prabhupada disciples are here. They've been practicing for so many years. They see like this place and they feel like, oh, this is exactly what Prabhupada wanted, and it's so, there's no party like a Hare Krishna party because the Hare Krishna party don't stop. So the party goes on, the dancing goes on, the singing goes on, and just like the spiritual world. So if we come together and engage in devotional service constantly, this is non-different from the spiritual world. This is itself is Goloka Dham. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says that I see my house, it is non-different from Goloka Dham. So you can make your house Vaikuntha by centering it around Krishna, centering it around devotional service, hearing Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavatam, create devotees. You can have people come and read with you. That's association. Read together Bhagavad Gita, hear together, chant together with others. Reading call they can attend with Kamalini Mataji, a Prabhupada disciples. Come to these festivals when there's big festivals, and come other times. You're going to come for 3 months. There you go. And there's a big festival right after the summer too. So a lot of festivals. So I'll end my class there. If there's any questions or comments, anything that you'd like to ask, please feel free. Anything you want to add. Go ahead. Yeah.
You know, one thing I was thinking about, you know, how Krishna makes plans way ahead of time. You know, those pictures of Krishna Balaram that you're giving to everyone, where do you think they came from? You know, I remember I think that like the first fundraiser that I ever did back in New York. Do you remember made that video?
Yeah.
I think, you know that one?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I actually got it for that. That's the reason why I got all these pictures from Vrindavan. You know, and I guess Krishna already saw all this way ahead of time. When
Krishna Balaram in that particular
Yeah.
dress and that particular, they're waiting for
the-
waiting for you
yeah.
to take them.
Yeah, and can you imagine, like, you know, I mean, on every book, like, in the person who's going to buy, his name is written. You know, and like, I guess on these pictures too, like, their names were written on these. Krishna saw so much ahead of time. Ethan has one, right? Ethan has one.
I give you one.
I went to his home, like, room, and I saw it. He has it now. They have it. It's so Krishna planned it so much ahead of time, actually. Anyway, that was really
It's
amazing.
awesome. Yeah. Anything else? Yes, James.
Yes, James.
James has captured everyone's hearts.
More questions. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Yeah, more questions. So now that we're returning to the normal life and...
Well, it's not normal. It's abnormal now. Remember
Okay,
that?
yes, it is abnormal. It is abnormal now. Going back. And you guys are like, I have not noticed any arrogance here at all.
Wow.
So, yeah, I have not. You guys are super humble. You know, I'm coming here thinking I know some stuff, but you guys are like just very humble, and that's awesome. Very always willing to help. But it is kind of like spiritual evolution, right? And, you know, when I go and see, like, I have an aunt who just, you know, she loves watching TV. She's not super spiritual. Like, you know, how do we avoid being arrogant with these people? Or like, do you just look at these people with compassion? Like,
Yes.
you know, it's obvious you're suffering because that's just how things are. Is that how you see things?
So yeah, like we see 99% of the people are innocent. And then there's those who are inimical and envious. So they're like demoniac consciousness, just envious of Christian consciousness. So like with people who are like, you know they're not going to listen to you when you speak to them. You know, like you go talk to your aunt about spiritual life, she's going to tell you to sit down. You know, like, don't talk to me about this stuff. So, you know, the best thing, maybe she won't. Maybe she will accept it. But the best thing that you can do also is outside of that, if they're not willing to listen and you know they're not going to, you know, that's just the relationship that you have. Just like my parents, I just can't, like I've tried to tell them, but this is not going to listen. But, you know, what you can do is like you cook. You offer that to Krishna, and you take it to them and you say, hey, look, I made you something. And so that is purifying because you've made it with love for Krishna, and Krishna has accepted that, and so it's become completely spiritualized. It's completely spiritual. It's Krishna consciousness. It's Krishna himself, and they can take that. You know, you can show them the meditation. You say, hey, this is a form of meditation that you can do. You can show them how to chant. They may do that. So yeah, people are going on, but we can see how much can we do for them. That's the compassion. It's like, you know, it's like, okay, how much can I help this person in this life? Maybe even just giving them a book and they may not even read it. Just having them keep that book in their house is so beneficial for them. Like them just having that book is Krishna himself. We've had that experience like with Mason. He just had the books in his house. He never really read them. But it works because Krishna is there. Krishna is present in those books. Krishna is present in their person's home. You can give flowers. The flowers you get, and you offer to Krishna, and then you give it to your aunt or your friend or your neighbor or whoever you meet. So like this, you can help others in their advancement of Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
You know.
And then, so we're authorized to consume milk. Krishna likes milk, but I mean, I hear things like, you know, these cows are in bad conditions.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, what's up with that? Like,
yeah, so you see, that's why we want to establish farms, because that's why the vegan philosophy has come about because of this, and you know, obviously, yeah, the animals are suffering like anything, but at the same time, the vegans, those who are like vegans, they like think that we should completely distinguish from the cows and taking milk from them. But actually, the Vedic culture makes a very good point that actually this has been the cows and human beings have been coexisting since time immemorial, since the beginning of whenever the humans, whatever came about. So it is a relationship between the cow and the human, and it's not exploitive. So one thing is that, in this society, unfortunately, we have that. We try to get the source best we can, just like, we have farms and things like that we can get milk from. But Krishna likes milk, so we offer milk to Krishna. And so this cow that has gone through some level of suffering is becoming, that milk that is being gotten from that cow is being offered to Krishna. So the cow will get benefit also. So Krishna likes milk. We also get raw milk from the farm where they're not like torturing these living entities. So those are the other options. Sometimes like devotees, like my spiritual master, he only takes ahimsa milk that is only got from a farm where the cows are perfectly taken care of. So like that. Ideally we want to have farms where the cows are taken care of with love. Krishna loves the cows. Krishna loves cows very much. His planet is called Goloka. Go means the planet of the cows. He's a cowherd boy. So we also love cows very much because Krishna loves cows.
They're the only Matajis that brahmacharis are allowed.
Oh, they're the only women that the monks can touch. Oh, wow. That's what it is. We can hug them. When you come back for a week and we can go to the farm. We can hug cows. Yeah, it's really nice. It's become a whole therapy thing in its own, actually. Cow therapy, they go hug cows.
I became best friends with the cows in Thailand.
That's how you let go of meat eating, right?
Yeah. Oh, really? I stopped eating because I became friends with the cows.
They're so cute. And then, calves. Anything else? Mothers? Okay. Iman Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So, 2 questions. So, can prasadam, of course, after you offer it, can prasadam ever be contaminated?
No.
No. Okay. So then, when you have prasadam, say for instance, if you're living with non-devotees and you're living with a roommate or a parent or somebody who obviously eats meat, and you have a plate of prasadam, is that if you only are in a situation where you only have like say the one refrigerator and everybody's stuff is in there, and then can you put your plate of prasadam in there, or what would you do?
Prabhupada did it. Prabhupada did it when he came to America first. He was living in a situation where it's just like that. So he did it. And so ideally, just like, Ethan here, when I went to his place, he lives with 3 other guys. 3 other guys, just like straight up tamagun, like low class mode of ignorance. You open the fridge. I opened the fridge and, I've never seen I've seen alcohol, but I open it and it's just the one fridge is just full of alcohol, and then I open the top one and it's just full of wines and different things. And then I put out lemonade on the side over there. It's so it's like that's the mini fridge. And then there's other fridge, you open it and it's like all meat and everything. So if you don't have facility, then you can. But nowadays, like a small mini fridge costs like $100 to, how much it cost you? Less than $100 to buy. Everybody has less than $100, right? Most people. You don't. Yeah, you don't. I don't. So, but you don't need a fridge either. Hey. So you can just get a small, tiny fridge and put it in your room. And because it's not like, you're not doing huge. If you got prasadam, just put it in there. It's the best. In like really situations where it's like not manageable, then yeah, okay. Best you cover the prasadam, cover it in plastic wrap. I don't know, however, so that nothing falls in it. But most of the time, I got him to buy his own fridge, buy his own pots and pans, and his room is mostly full of these big totes of cooking utensils. So it's, and he removed his bed. So now it's like much more space. Yeah, yeah. So like, you can live in a simple way, then it's manageable. Then you don't have to do it because you can just buy a small fridge. So,
And two more minor things. So what about a sink? If you clean Krishna's
yeah,
dishes in the same
sink, you just don't touch the sink when you clean. You have your own, so like you have your own sponges now, right? So you have your own sponges in your room. It's really austere, like you have to live like this. It's really annoying, like every time you have to like, oh my God, like it's really frying out. But like, it's important. Oh yeah, you have Ganga. It's pretty easy to, we can give you if you don't have. Ganga Jal, if something happens, you just purify it with Ganga. But yeah, just when you wash, you just don't touch the sink. It's really hard, but yeah.
Okay, and last thing, what if prashadam falls on the floor?
Oh, you eat it. You seen the guys, our guys have no problem. I'll tell you something. You ever been to New York subway? You never been in the New York subway? You didn't come to New York with us?
No.
You've been to New York subway, it is nasty. And especially the spots we used to set up, that's where the homeless people sleep. Yeah, you remember that? I've seen it, more than the homeless people just don't just sleep in New York. Anyways, so sometimes for sure, like we're taking, because we're in the subway and that's where we eat, and like, it's like this maha falls on the floor, like, well, pick it up and eat it. It's not like, but like if like one day a date fell on the floor and then it rolled in the thing, I was like, okay, that's it. I was like, that one is a little too far. It's like, because it's like rolled in all this dust, and you're like, some stuff you can pick up and it goes away, but it's like some things you just can't. So you have to see, like, it's not going to impact your health. Also, it's like if you take something and it's like it's going to make you sick, then you shouldn't take it. If some prashadam is gone off, we don't take it. It's prashadam, but we don't take it because we need to go on performing devotional service. Living entities, yeah, that's where it's taking it. But like sometimes you'll see, sometimes our guys are really extreme. Yeah. But sometimes they'll spill some milk. It's like, bro, that's sinful, bro. Take it. But so like you have to see what's practical. You have to see what's practical. It's like you don't want to make yourself sick, but it's at the same time sometimes it's like it's not. It's like okay, it's a small thing, whatever.
Okay, so on the topic of prashadam, not being contaminated, so like, can you help me understand, if you have a plate of prashadam and you take a bite, some devotees will refuse to even take anything off your plate, even if it looks fine, So like, I don't understand, like, how is it not contaminated if...
So, that's like, so there's different levels of that. Devotees, anyways, I don't want to go into too many devotees in the past. So they used to that, yeah. So there's like an exchange of energy when that's happened because your consciousness, exchange of consciousness when one takes prashadam. If somebody takes it off your plate, so that you may take that take that consciousness on. So we don't want to exchange. That is generally done with we take the remnants of the spiritual master. Because their consciousness is on the completely spiritual platform.
If someone doesn't take your remnants, it means they say your consciousness is not good.
What?
Someone doesn't take your remnants, it means they're telling you that
No, that's not true. It's like obviously, but so we don't exchange like that because it's just I don't know. It's just you don't do it. It's like part of the culture. It's part of the tradition. And when you put something on your plate, you take it. You don't expect other people to take it. If you put it on your plate, you take it. And so, I don't know, that's kind of what I understood. Okay, anything else?
I was going to say also, I had asked the question of Gumaraj, and he had said that they're taking your sins, or you're taking their sins when they eat off of your plate.
Yeah, exchange. Yeah, they're taking your sins.
You're taking theirs.
You're taking their sins when they eat off your plate.
Right.
Wow. So yeah, don't do it. You don't want any extra baggage. Yeah, but we've committed so much sinful reactions that they're still there. So it can complete, but we have to also perform devotional service with pure,
I mean,
purely.
it's also the concept, I'm giving you my mercy, here, you know what? I just eat this here, here's my mercy, eat it like that,
So it's like we have to understand all of these things in proper perspective. We don't give others our remnants because we consider ourselves very low, first of all, that I don't want to like impact other people's lives or anything like that. Nobody deserves, like you're saying, it's not that I'm giving my mercy to anyone or anything like that.
And we also think that my consciousness is so bad it'll affect you.
Yeah. It's like the devotees naturally don't give their stuff away. Naturally, just they don't want that. They understand that, like, look, I'm fallen. And we know, even though we're performing devotional service, there's so much sinful desire within their heart.
Yeah.
We don't want to give that to other devotees who are performing devotional service. So we have to consider like this. Yes, devotional service is purifying, but we are very impure. So like that. Anything else?
You had mentioned being able to ship prasadam.
Yes.
I'd be interested in that.
Good. Okay.
Awesome.
Chandan Krishna is going to bake it up. Maybe some
Thank
books.
you.
Cookies. Okay, that's it?
Anyone else?
Okay. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.